Be thinking that Pokemon is crashing, it's the end of Pokemon, and why is One Piece increasing so much? Maybe it's time to jump into One Piece because look at this OP13. This red manga, Luffy card, Altart is $8,489. Raw card, eh? And then you got this Ace, 4,414, and then Sabo, the three brothers, 3,544. Even a normal manga is like 1,604. And then you got the gold card, and you got the silver card, etc., etc. Whereas Pokemon is just crashing. So, is this the time to leave Pokemon and go into One Piece? If you're thinking that, then this video is probably for you. And I'm just gonna try and go through a few, you know, let's go through a few Pokemon sets that's going on so far and what I am doing in the interim. So people are saying that Pokemon is just crashing. So let's look at the best set of Scarlet and Violet. It's not a main set, it's a specialty set. People are very familiar with it. It's Prismatic Evolutions. Evolutions theme, tons of SIRs. In fact, there's 32 SIRs in the set. And we have the Sumbreon, which is the most expensive card of Scarlet and Violet as a raw card. It used to be 1,800, but over time it has dropped. It even dropped below 1,800, and then it spiked back up to 1,200. And now it's on the brink of crashing below 1,000 again. So people, yeah, I can see, okay, even for the stronger set, it seems to be dropping somewhat. Set value is still 4,282, which I don't think it's a low set value. In fact, it's still quite a very decent set value. Okay, so Prismatic Evolutions wise, people are kind of worried, and if you look at the sealed products, let's take a look. So you have, what's this? Let's go to the ETB. Pokemon Center ETB is 329. Yes, it's no longer that 400. Normal ETB is 109. Yes, it's been crashing. It used to be 150 and then it dropped to 100, even slightly below 100, and then it went to 140 and then it came back to 100 and then went to 130 and then came back to 100. So it's basically doing nothing, and yeah. But is this really the time to be worrying about? Okay, Prismatic figure collection. What's this? This one's a funny one. It went to what, 200 something, close to 300, and then dropped all the way to 123. So yeah, I can get a sense why people are just thinking Pokemon is just doing nothing at the moment, and in fact, worse than nothing, it's even crashing. Let's take a look at Phantasmal Flames. This is the latest set, and I made a quick video about it just today or yesterday. Mega Charizard X EX Phantasmal Flames, really, it's only carried by one card. You arguably can also mention a gold card, but it's really just this card, this SIR, and it's just been dropping. I mean, it started off with what, close to 2,000, and now it's just been dropping. And now set value is 1,364, and I think it's going to 1,000. Sealed products are dropping. Booster boxes, let's take away the booster boxes, 256. Elite Trainer boxes, 86. Okay, let's take a look at the next set. Mega Evolutions. So this set just before Phantasmal Flames. Set value 2,995. 396 gold card, 310. Sealed products, oh my word, dropped to 253. Pokemon is crashing. Okay. Pokemon 151. Charizard 235. Sealed products. Let's look over here. UPC 574. What's this? Elite Trainer box 352. Yeah, it's just not doing good. It's doing bad. Pokemon Center ETB, it's 860. Wow, it's no longer 1,000. Next, Surgeon's Box. Set value 1000. This is supposed to be a good set, yet its set value is so low. Okay, we'll Pikachu at 288, and then seal products. What's this? 245 booster box. ETBs. Where's the ETB? Where's the normal ETB? $70. What's going on? Okay, you sort of get what this is going, and then you look at One Piece on the other hand, and then you look at this. What's this? This is one of the latest booster boxes. There's OP14 that is coming out, and look at this. Look at this. It went all the way down to what, 161, and then bam, it's 297 right now. So people are thinking maybe it's time to move from Pokemon to One Piece. So the thing is, yes, from the all-time highs, Pokemon is dropping. But as you can see, I'm sort of half joking along the way. All these products, all these Pokemon products, at least the main sealed products. And what I mean by that is for main sets, I'm referring to booster boxes. And for specialty sets, I'm referring to ETBs. They are still above MSRP. Okay, they're still above retail price. So even though, yes, we've seen a slowdown in the Pokemon market, it's still above MSRP. So what does that imply? It just implies that, you know what, the hype may have died off a bit, but Pokemon is by no means crashing. Okay, so I don't think it's really time to panic sell and just exit Pokemon completely and then jump onto One Piece, because all or most of its booster boxes are just hitting all-time highs. So if you don't jump in now, you think you might miss the boat. And that's really the point I'm making here, and that's what I'm doing is, you know what, I'm not really worried at the moment. And it's because I've been following what I've been saying on the videos, and that is I don't FOMO. I try to buy products. I try to buy products when it's on pre-order, so it's generally MSRP or very close to MSRP. And yeah, that's really what I do. I don't jump in when, you know, the market price is crazy multiples of MSRP. Much like what Surgeon's Box and what's the other one? Prismatic Evolution, when the ETBs flew to like 150, or when the SPC was above 300 or 400. And the worst one I would say is this Mega Charizard X UPC. Yes, I would be worried if you were one of the few people, or many people, who jumped in at close to 400, 377, because of the hype, because you think this is going to be the next big thing. And now the price is just tanking all the way to 168, and it's most likely going to tank towards MSRP. Yes, if you were there and trying to catch the hype, yes, I would be concerned. And you would probably be worried because your investment has dropped by more than 50%. And if that's what's happening to you right now, you just have to learn two things. Just buy things at MSRP. There's a meme on MSRP gang, but that's fine. If you miss out, you miss out. But at least you're buying at a lower price. And that's really the key thing, you know. You don't want to buy things when it's just hyped up. And sometimes it may make sense in hindsight that for you to catch things at market price because it just goes up higher. Like perhaps Evolving Skies and some of those other examples. But generally, most people would not be able to profit off of that. They would just jump in hype every time, and then maybe one of the 10 jumps they make into works out. but then the other 9 times it drops miserably. So in the end, they're actually just worse off than just entering things at MSRP and be okay with missing out. So that's really the thing. And for me, yeah, there's a slowdown, and I'm just being probably a bit more picky now with the sets that I'm entering. For example, Phantasmal Flames was just when I initially thought it was going to be a strong set until I saw the small number of cards in the set, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to put too much into Phantasmal Flames. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that Charizard can carry the set. Even if it can, it's not going to be a long. It's not going to be a strong set in the long term. Uh, it will still be above current levels, perhaps in 3 or 5 years. But I try to focus on the winners, and if I can get in at MSRP on the winners, I think overall it's going to do better. Now, I'm not really just saying I know who the winners are, because sometimes it's it can be totally unexpected. You just have to focus on three main things, and there's probably other factors. But you gotta look at the theme, you gotta look at the artworks, and then you gotta look at the pull rates. Okay. So the theme is strong. That's good. Evolutions. Let's take prismatic evolutions and evolving skies. Evolutions. Extremely popular theme. Extremely popular theme. And then artwork. Fantastic artwork. Artwork is subjective, but then again, you can't argue that it doesn't have strong artwork. And then pull rates. It's extremely difficult to pull an SIR, and that increases sealed products value. If you have a really small set like Phantasmal Flames, pull rates is not difficult, relatively. And that's why long-term Phantasmal Flames will not do as well as Prismatic Evolutions. And Prismatic Evolutions, you have to see, it has been suppressed by rounds and rounds of restocks and reprints, and yet it's still holding above MSRP. So imagine in 3 years' time, once Prismatic is out of print, this thing will just shoot up a lot. Again, just do your own research. So what I'm saying is Pokemon is by no means dead or crashing. And I'm not going to just completely give up on Pokemon and then jump to One Piece. Yes, that took some time to come out, but I just want to lay the context. That's really the main thing what I mentioned. Yes, the red manga Luffy alone is more than the full set value of Prismatic Evolutions. Yes, I can see that. And that may make it very tempting for you to jump into this particular product. Yes, Romance Dawn is a 1,300 or $1,500 box. The second wave one. I know the blue bottom one is like 4 to 5 grand. But you're probably just focusing on the good parts. Not all OP boxes are doing extremely well at the moment. If you look at the weaker ones, they're actually doing very poorly. So it comes to a point that in most cases, you just got to do your research on all types of investments. Okay. As long as you have the time to perform your due diligence and to buy things at retail price or less, I don't think you can go wrong. And the thing with Pokemon right now, the reason why I'm not really exiting it is because I believe I know more about Pokemon than One Piece. Yes, I've watched the One Piece anime. I know sort of who the main character is and sort of the popular characters are in One Piece. But I haven't been following the latest developments, latest episodes of the anime. And for me, you know what, it's just a matter of catching up the manga. And then I don't think it'll be too difficult to understand what would make a strong One Piece set. You gotta have popular characters and then you're gonna have manga rares of that, and then special manga rares. Essentially, you gotta have also a strong theme. You gotta have strong artwork, and then difficult pull rates, and that's what OP13 has right now. So the only thing that I'm changing right now is I'm probably gonna spend a bit more time on understanding One Piece. I've got the OP1 box, and I plan to hold it for a very long time. And right now, I'm just gonna focus a bit more of my attention on researching about One Piece, see what sets are out there, and if it's a strong set, I might enter. And Pokemon, yes, it's slowing down, but I don't think it works in cycles. And one thing I did horribly wrong in the past is as follows. So this is probably something you don't want to do. So in the past, I remember when Scarlet and Violet came out, straight after Sword and Shield, I went into went heavily into Scarlet and Violet base, went heavily into Paldea Evolved, and then went into Obsidian Flames. And then I think the Pokemon market just sort of crashed. Crashed, inverted commas. Just slowed down. Nobody wanted those products, you know. And then I just lost interest. Then I saw One Piece. One Piece was doing very well, at least better than Pokemon at that stage. I decided to just jump onto One Piece. Okay. Then I started buying some boxes and then opening products. And then I realized, okay, One Piece is actually struggling at the moment. It's not doing much. Then I decided to jump back and just give up on One Piece, jump back to Pokemon. And now the same thing happens again. Do I completely just give up on one thing and then jump onto another thing? No. Now that I've built up some discipline, I know that I'm only going to buy products at MSRP, and that's what I'm doing. It fits with my budget, and I see One Piece and Pokemon both doing really well in the long term. And I'm just going to dedicate a bit more time in researching One Piece sets. And then, yeah, if there's a strong set, I'll enter into some One Piece. So definitely, you don't need to give up something and just completely give up. I don't think Pokemon is crashing at the moment. It works in cycles. I have high hopes for Ascended Heroes. I think Ascended Heroes is going to bring back the hype, and especially the 30th anniversary is going to bring back the hype. There's going to be in 2026, you probably see people swarm back into Pokemon. But yes, after that, there might be some weak sets, and then it will slow down again. And that's okay. Because if you bought things at MSRP, and if you are in it for the long term, it shouldn't impact you. Okay, catch you next one.